Tonight on KGW News, 9 shootings in just 16 hours.
It was a very violent night in the city of Portland.
A service dog is one of the latest victims. Plus, a mix of excitement and worry as students return to class.
And we're excited to get back to something that resembles normal.
We're taking chances with the children's lives.
Then, rounding up wild horses in Oregon and putting them up for adoption. And later, In-N-Out could be getting closer, the new proposed site in the metro area. We begin tonight with the latest in what has been a violent year for Portland. Good evening, I'm Laurel Porter. In 16 hours in the city, there were 9 different shootings. Catherine Cook has a look at the impact.
Wednesday morning, just after 1 a.m., police responded to Northeast 63rd and Columbia and found a man shot multiple times. Paramedics took him to the hospital with critical injuries. It's a crime that, on any given day, could reasonably stand alone. But on this day, it was Portland's 8th shooting in just 13 hours. And there would be more. Between noon, August 31st, and 4:30 a.m., September 1st, police responded to 9 shootings. They spanned Portland's east side from St. John's to the Springwater Trail.
It was a very violent night in the city of Portland. When we have a busy night like this, we know that that's going to take away from our ability to respond to other calls.
Sergeant Kevin Allen says it's especially hard given present police staffing. Over the last year, 145 police officers have either resigned or retired.
The crime rate's high, and they need to have more police patrol the area.
Neighbor Terry James was outside Tuesday evening when another shooting happened. This one near Southeast 122nd and Market.
I heard this about 6 times. Heard pow, 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 you know. I said, I'm getting inside.
Police say the intended victim wasn't hurt, but his service dog was shot and killed. It was the 3rd of those 9 shootings. For neighbor Brian Robinson, the numbers are discouraging.
It's not something that's like a big surprise with as much as it's been increasing. That amount in that little of time, yeah.
Police say Portland is up to 830 shootings this year and 62 homicides. While investigators haven't connected any of these recent shootings, Sergeant Allen believes they do share something in common.
There are people out there that know what happened in all of these shootings.
Police say they want to solve these crimes not only for the victims, but for the greater community. People out here are clearly upset that these shootings are continuing. Anyone with information on who is behind them is asked to call Portland Police. In Southeast Portland, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Oregon is also seeing a disturbing trend when it comes to hate crimes. The FBI says the crimes were up 60% in 2020. There were 271 incidents reported last year in Oregon, compared to 170 reported in 2019. The leading motivator for hate crimes was race or ethnicity. That was involved in 70% of the cases. The FBI also says hate crimes are historically underreported, and they're trying to change that.
It's extremely troubling to know that we have members of our community that have been victimized, that are suffering in silence out there, that are too afraid or too concerned to come forward to law enforcement, let alone the FBI. We want to reverse that trend.
The FBI started an awareness campaign today encouraging people to report hate crimes directly to them or their local law enforcement. There are new developments out of Newburgh tonight. The school board met again and was expected to rescind its ban on Black Lives Matter and pride flags. But as Mike Benner reports, the board couldn't agree on a path forward.
Johnson, I'm gonna cut this off, Dave.
No, you're not, Brian. You're not cutting it off. Rebecca has a question.
Cutting this off.
How are you cutting this off? How are you cutting this off?
Tense moments at the Newburgh School Board's virtual meeting Wednesday night. And it's really no surprise. Board members have been butting heads for weeks. Just last month, the board voted to ban Pride and Black Lives Matter flags in district facilities. And they voted to ban staff from wearing Pride and BLM attire while at work. On Wednesday night, we expected the board to walk back that ban and refer it to the policy committee for policy development.
My concerns are around the legal ramifications. Our policies are based on law, and this will be to my current understanding, illegal.
That explains why Director Brandy Penner wanted to rescind the ban altogether and not even give the policy committee a chance to rework it. but Director Brian Shannon saw things differently.
I think that the motion is enforceable if certain parties wanted to enforce it.
Director Shannon, along with Directors Brown, Paul, and DeHart, a majority, voted to table the discussion for another day. This means nothing has changed from last month. The board as a whole is still in favor of banning Pride and BLM symbols in district buildings. And here's the thing. If this directive ever does make it to the policy committee, don't expect much to change. The committee is made up of 2 directors who are in favor of the ban and only 1 who is against it. And when committee assignments came up for discussion Wednesday night, more discord.
I don't believe it's appropriate for members to question the committee assignments.
Why not?
That's never been done before.
Yes, it has.
It is entirely the chair's prerogative to assign committees.
A lot of tension on that Newburgh School Board and a lot of eyes on what's happening there, and that includes the ACLU of Oregon. They sent a letter to the school board calling the BLM and Pride ban ill-considered and unlawful. The ACLU is urging the board to retract its actions immediately or prepare for a showdown in court. We'll, of course, stay on top of the story. I'm Mike Benner for KGW News.
Nearly 50,000 students in Portland had their first day of school today, and many of them went to school in person. This was the scene at Scott Elementary in Portland. Students arrived to music, masks, and many classmates and teachers they hadn't seen in months. Students also ate outside and will do so for at least the first 6 weeks of school. Kids and parents we talked to are happy to be back, but some teachers are worried.
So what are you excited about this year?
That I can meet new friends. I'm just excited for him to be back in the classroom with his teachers and peers.
We have some situations where we literally cannot seat kids 3 feet apart from each other because we have too many students in a classroom. And at several of the high schools now, we have far more students than the building capacity really fully supports.
Portland Public Schools has said if 3 feet of distance cannot be maintained, furniture can be moved or teachers can switch rooms. Superintendent Guadalupe Guerrero says the district has an online learning option, but it's full. 500 to 600 students are on a wait list for it. This comes as Oregon and Washington continue to see a surge in COVID-related hospitalizations. Take a look at tonight's numbers. There are now 1,178 patients hospitalized across the state of Oregon. That's 16 more than yesterday. 358 COVID-19 patients are in ICU beds. Some hospitals in Southwest Oregon are really struggling to keep up with COVID patients. 40 traveling nurses started today in the Asante system. Another 40 will join them tomorrow. At the same time, hospital leaders say they still don't have enough space for all the sick people in their communities. Pat Doris reports.
At the Asante Three Rivers Medical Center in Grants Pass, things are as busy as ever. 100% of the patients in the ICU suffer from the COVID-19 virus. The current COVID surge is still overwhelming the hospital. Wynn Howard is the Asante CEO.
We were in an absolute crisis of nothing like we ever thought was going to happen.
In Grants Pass, the hospital is licensed for 125 patients, but operating now with special permission from the state and caring for 146 people. 78 are COVID positive, 91% of that group not vaccinated. There are so many very sick people that the ICU, built as 12 single-patient rooms, is now often holding 2 patients per room. Laura Magstad is vice president of nursing.
But I have to tell you, there's very little room in between. And we've had some very harrowing things happen where a patient goes into cardiac arrest that's in a double room, and there is another patient literally almost they could reach out and touch the patient. Their beds are so close, and the team is needing to do CPR. I mean, it's very, very difficult.
She said they've not yet run out of ventilators, but it has been close. The surge in cases began about a month ago. The doctors say the sickest patients die within 2 to 4 weeks of being diagnosed with COVID, and that's happening a lot now in Southern Oregon.
Probably the most heartbreaking thing for us at Asante is we've had 28 deaths in the last 7 days.
Josephine County Public Health has asked for a refrigerated truck to hold what is expected to be a surge in bodies in the coming weeks. They worry this COVID wave could run through the middle of October. Finally, the Grants Pass Hospital has put all but the most urgent surgeries on hold. Doctors said they worry about the larger impact on the community that now is not able to get their treatment. I'm Pat Doris reporting.
Let's get you caught up with tonight's other headlines. The U.S. Supreme Court has just ruled and will not step in to stop a Texas law that bans most abortions. The law kicked in today and says the procedure may not be performed after a fetal heartbeat is detected. That usually happens at about 6 weeks gestation, before many women even know they're pregnant. A Lincoln County deputy shot a person who was carrying a rifle while walking down the street. It happened this morning in South Beach, south of Newport. The sheriff's department says deputies repeatedly asked that person to drop their rifle, but they did not. Deputies say the person pointed the gun at them before they were shot. The suspect was airlifted to Corvallis for treatment. A Portland man has been sentenced to federal prison for his role in a protest last May that damaged the Justice Center downtown. 33-year-old Edward Shinzing was sentenced to 15 months in prison and 3 years supervised release. He was among those who entered the building, spray-painted portions of the office, and started fires. This was one of the most destructive nights of riots in the city following George Floyd's death. In political news, Oregon House Speaker Tina Kotek announced she's running for governor. Kotek joins 3 other Democrats in the race next year, along with 11 Republicans. Kotek has been Speaker of the Oregon House since 2013, and she's the highest profile candidate to officially join the race so far.